My parents favored my twin our whole lives, so I chose to walk away.
Walk away. Walk away.
So I, 17 female, teenager alert, have 2 older brothers, 19, 21, and a twin sister. I should mention that my family is pretty affluent. Ever since I can remember, my parents encouraged me and my twin to compete with each other while they always favored her over me. She always had their support, and I was expected to be considerate. When I succeeded at something more than she did, they'd ask me to give it up. But they never asked this from her. I do love her and my parents, even though I feel like I have been treated unfairly. By the way, this comes from user SoftU9949. If you want to submit your own stories, mosey on down to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. I'm Dakota.
I'm Savannah.
I'm Keon.
And we're going to read this story, but do you have a twin sister, Keon?
You know, a lot of people think Kiana is my sister.
Yes or no?
No, I don't. But a lot of people think she is my twin.
Guys, I was a twin.
Okay. And then you ate your twin.
I did.
So we can't ask for your advice.
Survival of the fittest.
My point was, we are going to try to give advice, but we don't know everything. We haven't gone through this. We only know the things we know. So let us know what you would do in the comments. And OP says, both of us have aspired to be doctors for a long time. I studied really hard for it for a long time, and so did she. This year we graduated, and both of us applied for the same programs in the same universities. The process here is quite different than it is in the US. We can start med school right after high school if we get accepted. She wants to go to the same university as I do, and so do my parents. I, on the other hand, feel like going on my own and having a separate life from my sister. I love her so much, but we have been together my entire life. She is an introvert, while I am an extrovert. So she follows me around most of the time. I always included her and made sure she was happy, but it's been like this our entire lives, and I am honestly tired of it. Not to mention that if we go to the same place, I would be expected to study with her and help her get high grades, and would not be able to study on my own and focus on my success. Wait a minute, is that what they've expected out of you the whole time?
Do they just expect you to be exactly the same person?
Imagine just like the whole time it's OP who was the smart one, but OP has just been helping her twin this whole time and leaving no time to do her own thing.
Yeah, that's crazy. I also thought that. When it was like, yeah, if I'm going to have to do this for her and I'm going to have to do this. And it's like, have you been doing that the whole time?
It's like you're at the driving range working on your golf swing because you're trying to get on that varsity golf team. And she's like, can you watch my swing? She hits 375 golf balls. You hit 4. Guess who's going to be the better golfer?
4, because you want to be lower in golf.
I will accept that as logically, sound from you.
Was it not?
But this is the driving range. We're just hitting balls. Okay. We're not playing golf. We're doing this is the warm-ups. This is practice.
Do you want to hit
What's
more
better,
or
practicing
less?
375 times or 4 times?
Oh yeah, 375.
Right. Okay.
5. I don't even know the number. Somebody help me! I'm already losing it.
So my parents will be mad if I succeed more than her. Who cares? It has been like this for the past 12 years, which will eventually hurt me. I just want to finally be my own person. This is where I might be the a-hole. I got accepted to 4 different universities and she got into 2. I waited for her to decide where she wanted to go and then made my decision. A different place. Then she changed her mind and said she wanted to go to her second option, the one I chose. I said it was not a problem and I would go to a different place, one she did not get into. My sister got really offended and my parents are furious, even though I explained myself politely and said that I love her, but wanted to get a fresh start where nobody knows me. They demanded that I go to the same place as my sister, or else they would not pay for my degree.
Wow.
Then I said whatever, and that I would be fine on my own, and left to my grandparents. When they came to talk to me, they just kept saying how wrong and entitled I am. I really had enough, so I told them I hated them for treating me like this. Now I'm refusing to talk to them and ignoring their calls. My brothers and grandparents are on my side, but everyone else is telling me I'm an a-hole. So am I? And there is an edit here. What's your take, Savannah, before I give mine?
I don't like this at all. I don't like when people have twins and then they want them to do exactly the same thing. I don't care if you were born on the same day, came out of the same hole. You are not the same person.
Popped out of the same orifice.
You just, like twins, they can be similar, similar looking, they can have similar personalities, whatever, but they are two separate people. And
they should be.
Yeah. And like, that's the thing is like people very much treat them like, oh, you have to do this with your sister, your brother, or whatever. You have to do this with your twin. You have to do this with your twin, do this with your twin. And it's like, okay, but when do I get a separate identity from my twin? Like all of your birthdays every year are shared. You will never have your birthday by yourself.
Yeah.
Like that honestly makes me really pissed off. Like I'd be like, no, it's mine.
Well, here's what I'll say. You're in the right in terms of like who's weirder, you or for wanting your own life, or your parents and your sister for refusing to let you have one. They're the weird ones. However, if you do want to, be a doctor and go to, university and all that good stuff, and you're trying to go to med school and your parents are going to pay for it and now they're not, I'm sure that you could be fine without them. But what I would do is I would take advantage of them and I would say and act contrary to how I feel, because you're justified in feeling really upset, but you need to go, oh yeah, you're right, I'll do that. And then once you get to university, you don't do any of that. You just focus on becoming a doctor. And if your sister is following you around, run, hide. If she wants you to help her with all of her work, say, I can't, or say, I will later. Put it off. It's time for you to start pulling little puppet strings here. It's called politics. There's politics to everything if you want to play it. A lot of people, I hate playing politics. I don't do it. I'm usually just very honest and straightforward to the point where it bites me in my, because I just don't like doing politics. But if you want to be a doctor, you're going to have to probably play some in this moment. That's what I would say. Edit. My brother got me everything I thought I needed, including my cat. Whoa. I called the university to ask if my parents can unenroll me, and they can. However, since they never paid, it will be difficult for them, and the university can try to delay them until my 18th birthday. My grandparents assured me that they would not let them do something like that, but it is still nice to have a plan B. Dude, shout out to the grandparents. School starts on Monday, and it looks like it is settled for now. I will have updates for you guys as soon as I have something to say. P.S. Postscript. I do not feel like talking to them right now. It is like all of the anger I held against them is now very real. I hope I used the right word, and I feel like I need to cool down before deciding what is next. They probably could also use some time off, and there is an update. Ta-da! Yeah, you held it in perfectly fine. For as long as you could. So, as I think I said in the comments, school started 2 weeks ago, and so far it is absolutely amazing. I have great roommates, and I love my classes. It's a bit intense, but I'm keeping up. It's truly a dream come true. Well, some things happened. My parents apparently called my university and asked for my schedule. From what I understand, they said that as my legal guardians, they are entitled to know everything about it. The school told them that if they want my details, they need to come and prove that they are indeed who they claim to be, and informed me about it. It happened just a couple of days after the school year started. They had not contacted me until a week ago when they asked me to have dinner with them. They even offered to drive to where I am, which is strange, as they never even bothered to pick me up from my friend's house in the past, but I agreed. It was on Friday, and they reserved places in a fancy restaurant nearby. Dinner went surprisingly well, a bit awkward, but they were nice. Then they told me they would pay for my school tuition and everything else I needed, but... What's the but? What's the but?
You have to do exactly what your sister tells you to do.
But yeah, you have to do the exact same schedule and classes and extracurriculars as your sister. For sure. So they've learned nothing. Maybe that's not what they say, though. Let's find out. But only if I took a gap year.
What?
So your sister can get a head start?
Wait, why does she have to take a gap year?
So that the sister can get a year before she does. That would be my guess. Because clearly they favor the sister. They want the other sister to be better and do better. So you take a gap year, which don't do that. And your sister can be 1 year ahead of you.
The fact that they want to put her a whole year behind just to have them both like do the same thing is beyond insane, actually. Because like, why would you do that to your own child? You're just to have them do the same thing? That's crazy. I don't know. I do not like these parents. I do not like this Sam I am.
I refused, obviously. After arguing with me, my dad said that he had had enough of my attitude and ungratefulness. left a 200 francs bill, and left. I will admit that I sat there crying for about half an hour before I left with the change, as the bill and the tip did not reach 200 francs. If you are asking yourselves what that was about, then I did too. Yeah, what? I talked to my brother, and apparently my sister decided she doesn't want to go to med school. She wants to take a vacation to think about the future with a cleared mind or something like that. And you guessed it, almost everyone thinks I should go with her.
What?
Oh my God, it was! You have to do what your sister wants. Oh
That's
my God!
insane. Why? I don't get the logic behind any of this.
Just let us be different.
Yeah, what is wrong with that?
After all, we're twins, and it would only be fair that we start studying at the same time. There has been no contact from my parents ever since, but that is kind of an okay by me. I got a scholarship, and by the end of the semester, I might get another one. My grandparents paid for the rest, and they insist that I will not pay them back, but I'm already working on that. My sister answered my messages yesterday. She told me that I hurt her because I did not want to be with her, and she does not know if she can forgive me. That's your decision, babe. I understand her, and I do really miss her, but I don't want to give up on my dream. I hope she will understand me someday. So basically, I think things are all right by now. Not much has changed, but I have my grandparents and my friends, so I'm fine. I'll be completely calm only after my 18th birthday, when my parents will no longer be able to get me out of university. It's really soon, so I'm optimistic. Thank you all for reading and helping me. I really appreciate it, and we do have another edit here. Thank you all for your comments.
You're gonna love this edit, by the way.
I'm on a pretty tight schedule, so I still have not finished reading, but I promise I will answer all of the questions and comments. Since some of you got confused over the francs, we use them in Switzerland. By the way, whether you're in Switzerland or Germany, whether you're in Copenhagen or Berlin.
What about Aruba, Jamaica?
You can listen to full episodes with stories just like this on your favorite podcast platform, iHeartRadio, or wherever you're listening to podcasts. Just search OK Storytime. We are coming up on our final little update here. I bet she's a doctor. Maybe not. Maybe not that much time has gone by, but she's on the road. I think she's there.
She's getting there, but I don't know. I just think maybe you'll have to go low contact with your family. I wish it wouldn't have to be that way, but they just seem like they're so toxic and so manipulative towards you. Like, you can't have your own identity outside of your sister, and that's weird. It's really weird.
Update number 2. I just felt like I wanted to let you know how things are going. I will keep it short, so I will not reach the limit. I'm honestly very happy here. I've been studying like crazy, though. The material is interesting, though, so it's okay. I am still not talking to my parents. They tried to reach out, but I'm not interested. Not right now, at least. I do not know, nor am I interested in knowing what they wanted to say. I did talk to my sister, though. She's currently in South America, living her best life and searching for purpose. This is more or less a translation of her words. It will soon be exam season, and it's pretty stressful, but I'm confident in most of my courses. I do hate physics, though.
Well, who doesn't?
John Robert Oppenheimer. And that is the end of that story.
The school punished my daughter for setting boundaries, so I retaliated with other parents.
Did you show up with pitchforks?
My daughter is 12. I'm trying to teach her ways of creating and respecting her boundaries that are age appropriate. Teaching her that it's okay to say no to things she feels uncomfortable with. By the way, this comes from Protective Mummy G. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. I'm Savannah.
I'm Dakota.
I'm Keon.
And we're here to give some good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We don't only tell you what we would do in the situation, but I would love to know what you would come up with down in the comments. As OP says, there is a boy in her class who keeps bothering her and her female friends at recess. I've encouraged her to go to me or her teacher when this happens. My daughter told me a few days ago that in class, the teacher had asked the kids to form groups of about 4 or 5. She had formed a group of 5 with some other girls. Then the boy who had been giving her trouble at recess came over and said he was joining their group. Another girl said that they already have 5 and he should work with a group who only has 2 or 3 people. He said no because the teacher said about 4 or 5. My daughters then said that they didn't want to work with him and he should find another group. A few of the other girls agreed with her. He said that you can't exclude me like that. It's against class rules. And she said she didn't care. I heard about this from my daughter first, and the way she talked about it, she had been firm but not unkind. But then I got an email from her teacher saying she wanted to call. She said there had been an incident at school where my daughter had excluded another child and that wasn't allowed in her class, and she wanted me to have a talk with her about it. Her telling of events was the same as my daughter's. I felt proud of my daughter for her honesty. I sent her an email saying, "Dear Mrs. Teacher."
Ah, yes, the Miss Teacher.
"Dear Mrs. Teacher, I'm sorry, but that is not a lesson I feel comfortable teaching my daughter. She is at the age where she is already having to deal with unwanted attention, and I'm making a point to teach her that she does not have to be around anyone who makes her uncomfortable, and that a young lady is able to choose to spend time with people who make her feel respected. I understand you already are aware, boy has been behaving in ways that she feels uncomfortable with at recess from our prior conversations. I think it is a very dangerous lesson to teach a girl she has to include and be kind to everyone instead of teaching her to be aware of when someone is not respecting her no and stepping out of the situation."
Yeah, honestly, we really have lost our way in that we stopped teaching people that sometimes people need the taste smacked out of their mouth. They truly do. Like people who have, I don't know, NAZI beliefs. People with certain beliefs who espouse them in ways that are aggressive and unacceptable deserve to have the taste smacked out their mouth. And it starts early. I'm not saying that that's what this little boy is, but I'm just saying it's like, yeah, sometimes things are unacceptable. You can't just accept and tolerate everyone. We're not all Jesus. Like, that's not the way the real world works.
I hope I don't have to explain in too much detail why I find this important. But to put it briefly, I was brought up with the include everyone mindset. No exceptions. It taught me to ignore my own comfort level, and as I became a young adult, I became the victim of men who use my inability to say no to their advantage. It's a dangerous lesson and no longer appropriate at that age. Thank you, OP. Wink. I added that wink.
Ting.
She emailed me back asking for a meeting in person with the principal. I'm preparing for that, but wondering if my email is too harsh. I don't think it was too harsh. I honestly think that it is a good idea to teach young girls to say no, because I am very much a people pleaser and I do not say no, and it's really hard for me to say no. And I also have been coached to just say yes to everything, because that's just how it is.
It's
and I don't even know if that's just like a girl thing or just.
I think it could, it should be a kid thing too, because you just want to make sure kids can understand that no means no. It's good to teach anyone that. You can say it, and you don't have to have your boundaries overstepped, because I get it. Yeah. I was also like that as a little kid.
Yeah. I feel like it is more demanded of girls, though, where it's like there's always some rationale where it's like, oh, yeah, I know that kid's pulling your hair, but it's like, it's really because he likes you.
Yeah.
And it's like,
isn't that cute? Yeah, isn't that cute?
So what?
Yeah, no, that's terrible. And also it should be good for, I know some people said for girls it's more difficult saying no, but it also should be good for boys to understand that no, that's it. Stop it.
Yeah. Am I the a-hole for my response to my daughter's teacher? And there are some comments. I don't think so.
Yes, we are all in a resounding agreement that you are not.
Comment number 1 says, unless you are a doormat, you already know you weren't the a-hole. Now, be very firm that you want that boy as far as possible from your daughter, and that you will personally sue the school and the teacher if something ever happens. I think that is a lot. That's a lot.
Yeah, I don't know if that's gonna hold up really. But yeah, I think you've said your piece. I think the most important thing is to just be a parent to your daughter more than I think you're gonna have more influence over your own child than her teacher will.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, hopefully.
OP responds, haha, as much as I try to teach my daughter about boundaries, it's still something I struggle with feeling guilty about sometimes. Hard to unlearn those wrong lessons, which is honestly why I want to teach her differently from a young age, so she doesn't grow up with that baggage, lol. Then now there are some additional details from OP in the comments. OP with what he's done to make them uncomfortable. Ooh, actually, I was kind of hoping they would go over this. I want to know. When my daughter and her female friends were having girl talk, that they'd be embarrassed to have people over here. Nothing too embarrassing. Just talking about kissing, which I guess is what passes as scandalous. at that age, LOL. That's honestly so cute. He hid near them and listened in for a while.
Gross. Kind of gross. A little gross. Concerning behavior.
That's getting borderline peeping Tom here. He also chases a few of the girls around the playground even though they don't want to play that way and keep yelling at him to stop it and leave them alone. Does he have friends? I'm not really sure. My daughter never said either way. She said she tries to keep away from him and not pay attention to what he's up to when she can't help it, so I'm not sure she'd know. Snooty girl vibes, question mark? My daughter really isn't that type. If anything, I think she struggles with standing up for herself without feeling bad about it afterwards.
How'd that get snooty girl vibes?
God,
Yeah.
It's the world where we're so cooked, bro. That's crazy.
I'm trying to teach her it's not something to feel guilty about. Also, a serious question for you. What about my post gave the impression that my daughter was unreasonable or mean? It is a very concerning trend when I see that anytime a girl stands up for her boundaries, there's some voice going, oh, but did she go too far? Was she really justified? Seriously, I'm curious. Can you reflect on what made you ask that?
Yeah.
And really consider how dangerous a message can be if you ask the same thing around young women in your life. And OP just responds, I guess. It says, I feel like a better lesson for future life is that if you're in a group, example workplace, where someone has done stuff to make you feel uncomfortable, it is okay to not want to work with them. It's okay to ask your boss to reassign you or the other person, or to report intimidation to HR. Or even if HR and management don't address intimidation, to leave a job. Your safety is worth more than professionalism. I feel like that's just life, there is no way out of it kind of attitude is dangerous because intimidation doesn't have to be a part of life and there is always a way out. I stayed at a job for way too long where my boss was pestering me, and I wish I had the lesson at that time of your safety and dignity is worth more than whatever they're paying you. Find a new job ASAP. And that goes for everyone out there. You're struggling with your job. You should ask yourself, do I really need this job? Do I like this job? Am I enjoying myself? Am I scared? Ask yourself those questions.
Can I talk to someone?
Yeah.
Yeah, there is a calculus there, but first thing, depending on the job market, which is, at least in the States, maybe the worst it's ever been in my lifetime. Yeah. Minus the recession. Maybe find a coping mechanism.
Yeah.
Or talk to somebody, and then really if it's it's just doing this work makes me entirely miserable. Yeah. Then it's time you find the next place while you still have that job.
True. But there is an update here. I reached out to the parents of the other 4 girls in the class who were involved, and we all coordinated to go speak to the school administration together. They had similar views, thinking it was inappropriate for the school to expect the girls work with someone who they're not comfortable with, and frustrated the teacher didn't do more to deal with the issues during recess that made the girls uncomfortable to start with.
Bingo.
Yeah.
I feel like these moms are going to walk down that school hallway strutting.
Yeah. Like in slow motion.
Yeah.
With the wind.
Yeah.
I ended up asking the school if we could reschedule the meeting to a time where all the involved families could make, and we ended up meeting this afternoon along with my husband, another couple, 2 mothers, and a father, along with the teacher and principal. We all presented a united front asking for the following. The school does training for the teachers on trauma-informed teaching methods and the dangers of expecting young women to go against their best judgment of their own boundaries to be nice. Instead of include everyone, the kids should be allowed to respectfully set boundaries and taught to respect each other's boundaries. By the way, respect my boundaries by listening to full episodes with stories just like this. Go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, or your favorite podcast app, and just search up OK Storytime. We have a little bit left. I think that this is going to work, truthfully. It's better to have, a united front, kind of like a union. She came in and was listen, this, not only do I feel this way, but now everyone else feels this way.
You've united the mothers.
It's quality in numbers.
300 mothers. 3,000 mothers.
And one father.
You have so many furious parents now.
The fury.
You don't want a mother's fury, let alone multiply that by 4, 5. You don't want that.
Hell hath no fury like a mother's fury.
The school addresses intimidation in class or at recess and doesn't enable it to continue. We went to talk, and I think it went a lot better having all the parents join instead of if I'd gone alone. The teacher and principal apologized, and the principal agreed to look for resources on how to better navigate the balance between being inclusive and not forcing kids into including someone who is crossing a line with them. Thanks a lot for all the amazing advice in the comments. I cannot believe how much this blew up, and I'm so grateful to everyone who replied with advice and support. And honestly, it was getting pretty emotional hearing how the lessons I'm trying to teach my little one resonated with other women, whether they're moms too or have been through some of the same struggles I have. Oh, and that's the end of the story.
Yeah,
and it was a good story. So. And we ended on a good note.